Welcome to Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. I got Coach Rob with me. We know him as Mr. Rogers. We're actually going to be talking about players going ballistic, maybe going off the deep end. My first experience was, you cannot be serious, when I first saw it on television. And I thought that was entertaining. Stay tuned. It's a wonderful day on the tennis court. A wonderful day on the tennis court. A gorgeous day on the tennis court. Won't you be mine? Can you be mine? Won't you be my partner? Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome to Mr. Tennis Spin's Etiquette. All right, guys. So, Coach Rob, when I say, you cannot be serious.
Correct.
Who am I talking about?
John McEnroe.
Mm-hmm. Now, when you saw that kind of display of gamesmanship, sportsmanship, whatever you want to call it,
Right.
What did you think?
That was kind of the way you must do it. We saw that on TV, and we saw not only him, but others have outbursts that were not up to the standard of, gentleman's sport or being a true sportsman. Mm-hmm. And so you figure, he's one of the best players in the world, and that's firing him up, and that could be something maybe I should try or use or do, or other people, you copy what you see.
Right.
Right or wrong.
Right.
You have that temperament where you're, volatile at any minute. You can go kaboom and things can go off the deep end. So usually it's, something that you would like to nip in the butt before you get to get out of the juniors, because you'd like that not to be what you're, what you're role modeling. You want to be able to be even keel and handle the ups and the downs, and understand that it's not a game of perfect, and it's not always. You're not, if 1 million people play tennis, 500,000 are losing. Mm-hmm. And it's not fun to be on the other side of the 500,000 that lost, but that is part of the game. And you have to know going into the game, you got to be able to handle the winning and the losing. And if you can't handle it, maybe you're not ready to play, or play socially and not play as competitively if you're not able to handle either adversity with scoring, line calls, or any of the things that come up,
Right. So up until then, I would consider the game of tennis as pretty low key and quiet. And
there were some hotheads before McEnroe, but
okay.
But we were younger then,
okay.
And not as much was televised.
Right.
Sorry, we didn't have the internet.
This is
then.
true.
So
yes.
We didn't, we only kind of got to see
black and white.
It was black TV. And white, tube TV. It was probably Wimbledon.
Right.
Australian, I don't think was, wasn't shown.
Neither was the French. Neither was U.S. Open for, actually, I don't remember seeing any of that. It was only Wimbledon.
Not when we were young, right?
Yeah. So that has something to do with it too. Because the number one person that I would think of as being emotional would be Johnny Mac. And then obviously television and internet has kind of become a big role.
Now tennis has
lives.
Its own tennis channel.
Right. Right.
How cool would that have been when we were kids, right?
Right. Now, for John, it benefited him when he went off the deep end. But for most people,
right,
it probably doesn't.
Nope, not usually.
So, just referencing back, when I was young, I was a semi-hothead. I would question calls. I would scream at myself. I wouldn't scream at the opponent because, unless it was extenuating circumstance.
Usually you're upset with yourself.
Yeah.
And
totally.
How you go about, it's not usually happening during the point. Mm-hmm. It's what happens between the points. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's where things unravel. Mm-hmm. And so you need to have a routine that you go through that keeps you in check.
Right.
And so usually it's deal with what happened, good or bad, rest, mm-hmm. and think about what you're going to do next.
Right.
And if it means walk back to the fence. Back in our day, we used to check our strings, straighten them out because they moved around a lot.
Right.
And that was a way of staying in the here and the now and not getting distracted, not looking through the fence, not who's watching me, not, letting outside distractions interfere with what you were doing.
So in the pro ranks, I remember everybody straightening back out the strings to kind of like a reset. It was something, right. I'm not sure if they were trained that way, but
yeah, it was a little bit of a way of, hey, focus up, straighten your strings. You hit a lot of balls that point, instead of looking into the stands or looking through, hey, check your strings, look down. Now you're right here. You're not letting outside distractions interfere with your, with what's going on.
So that's a good thing to think about, right? Like
you don't see that as much anymore.
Yeah.
People you don't see them checking their strings. The stuff snapping back, right? The poly.
Right.
Or they're changing their rackets mm-hmm. before they get to that point where they've loosened up and moved.
Right.
So there's other ways you need to go about.
Like pacing is what I'm seeing now. Looking down and pacing.
Or you walk back to the fence.
Right.
And then come back up. You can go back on the diagonal and come back up for the next point. Yes, there is more coaching now, so there are players looking into the stands. You see a lot more communication. Right. Between coach and player and stuff.
So I would say whenever you get off the deep end, whenever you kind of get really emotional, right, the faster you can bring it back down, the better
absolutely
you will play.
Right.
Because the longer it lingers, the longer it stays with you, the longer you will probably be losing points.
Well, you're only fueling your opponent. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, I got him to, hit his foot with his racket. Oh, wait, now I got him to bang it on the ground. Oh, can I get him to swear? What's my next thing I can do to get him, can I get him to throw his racket? Like, how much worked up can I get this guy? Mm-hmm. Because it's only favoring you.
Right.
That's not exactly the right, way to but when the guy's off the rails, mm-hmm.
Now,
which is no fun to play with.
What have you done with players that that you've seen and coached in that situation?
Usually, you have to get them to put the racket in their left hand after the point's over. Like you're usually not gonna do anything if you're right-handed. Mm-hmm. You're not going to go huck your racket with your non-dominant hand. It's a way of kind of letting go what happened. You need to find your routine. You need to, whatever your routine is, if it's back to the fence, if it's taking a deep breath, if it's checking your strings, if it's whatever your routine is that you have between points, you have to get back into that routine. You have to let out the irritation.
Right.
And get back into what am I going to do next?
Right.
I dealt with a 15-ball rally and I missed the 16th shot and I'm just hot that it was a great rally and it didn't go my way and it was break point or whatever, right? You're like, okay, it's over. I can't change history, so let's go back and think about what we're going to do next and have a better game plan or a better, clearer focus for the next point, or stay in your zone. Try to get into your zone. If you're off kilter, you're not in the zone. You're not locked in. You're out there.
So here's the thing. As a hot-headed teenager, right, you're probably
emotional.
Yeah, you're probably going to just keep doing this. So your next
hitting
point,
puberty or whatever.
Yeah, your next point, you're going to get even more mad. And then if you screwed up, you're going to get even more mad. So it's going to build versus going the other way.
Right. Until you can get yourself back, until there's enough time has passed where that is gone and you haven't lost so many points or games.
Right. Till the match is over.
Right. I mean, how many times have you played where we were like 1-1, and the next changeover, you're like, oh my God, it's 5-1? What happened?
Mm-hmm.
How did I just lose 4 games? I don't even know what happened.
Because your mind was stuck on that moment or those 2 moments.
At that moment where things didn't go well at 1-1. You're like, it's 1-1. Like, our game should still be building. We should still be trying to play better tennis at the end of each set, not playing our best at the start, but trying to work towards playing the best when it matters the most.
Right. So when it hangs with you, when it stays with you, when you get emotional, that's going to stay with you until you decide, until you can control your emotions to kind of bring it back down to earth and kind of stay in the game again, play in the point again, be in the moment again. Because the faster you let that go, the better you're probably going to play.
And it's experience. It takes experience to get through it. I mean, I will be the first one to tell you, I was not always the best behaved on the court.
What? Coach Rob?
It was a long time ago, but, sure, no one likes to miss an easy overhead, and you're like, oh my God, that was game point, and I just shanked it because I didn't move my feet or look at the ball, or I thought I already won the point and I missed this sitter forehand, or the second serve, this candy second serve, I came in and railed on it, smoked it off the fence. I'm like,
yeah.
I mean, it happens.
And
it happens to everybody, and you don't realize it at the time that that's part of playing.
Right. So since you're part of a kind of a team atmosphere, the one bad apple, or the one apple that kind of needs a little polishing up, can make the team look bad, can make the coach look bad,
it can
make
do
the school look bad.
Absolutely. It can do a lot of damage. And when you are, let's say you're a tournament player and you are playing just for yourself, then that's your own reputation. And that if you're self-destructive, well, okay, that's on you. But now you're playing for a team. It's not about you. It's about the whole. Right. And it's about way more things than just you. And so you have to understand that, your uniform, your teammates, have to have the right influence and see the right role models and see the right behavior.
Right.
Because we're all modeling it. And if you're one of the better players, you should be the best behaved, because everybody's looking up to you. Whether you own that or not, whether you want that or not, them's the facts.
Right.
Right.
So in a team environment, or as a player, right, do you prefer the no emotion? You look at the kid, you don't know if he's winning, you don't know if he's losing.
If I'm the coach, or if I'm the opponent?
If you're the coach.
If I'm the coach, it's great if the guy is rock solid, steady.
Like stone
nothing
face.
Bothers him. Nothing phases him.
See nothing.
Right.
Do nothing. If I could be losing 6-0.
You would never know the score. Right?
Yeah,
you don't know if he's winning or losing unless there's a scorecard.
Right.
Because he's not giving away. He's not using any energy to help his opponent. Right? He's, like you said, just locked in. Okay, next point.
Okay.
Let's play.
Like a machine.
Right.
Are any of you guys machines out there?
Not me.
I have to say, as I'm getting older, I'm becoming more of a machine, though. I mean, I'll scream.
Because we have experience.
Yeah,
we have experience. We understand. I'm like, what are we playing for?
Right.
I mean, are we playing for paychecks? No. We're not paying for we're not paying for the keys of the car. We're just playing and having fun. Like this, tennis is our outlet for fun.
Right.
It is not our job. Well, it is my job, but it's not your job to be out there winning and losing and making money, right? That's a whole different world. And, if you're playing and you've got to win that match, there's a ton of pressure on you to, make enough, win enough matches to get your ranking high enough so you're getting in. And that's a whole nother world. That's a different level. But hopefully by the time you're at that, you've already learned and dealt with the roller coaster of emotions, and you have had the experience of how to handle and get yourself out of letting it go quickly before you play another point. I mean, we were talking about playing multiple games losing because something went wrong. I mean, I remember getting a bad call on a serve, and I didn't let go of it for the next set And I didn't even know what happened. I'm like, the guy hooked me. I'm like, dude, the guy hooked me a half hour ago. I don't even know what happened in the last half hour. I'm losing, looking at the scorecard.
You were in hook me land.
I'm
and
like,
then the
let
game
it
kept
go.
playing.
Like, let it go.
Yeah.
Like, just next point.
Okay.
You can't change it. It's history. And it doesn't mean the guy hooked you on purpose. It just means he may have seen it wrong or didn't see it the way I saw it.
Right.
So tennis is very hard. And you're the player.
Right.
You're the scorekeeper. You're the linesman.
Right.
Like, there's not a lot of other sports that you play where you are all of those. Mm-hmm. Golf, yes, you are usually counting your strokes, playing by the rules, the etiquette of the game, respect your opponent, respect the game, right? You're keeping their score as they're keeping your score, and But in tennis, it's a whole different part, and it takes a lot of learning, and it takes a lot of patience and a lot of trial and error and understanding.
So Coach Rob brings up a great point. Somebody may have hooked him for 1 point, but then you lost.
I think that.
But then you lost. Right? But then you lost the whole set
because
of it.
I lost it all. Right. Like, I'm like, that was 15 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago. Like, dude, move on. It takes a while to let it go. And you're like, maybe they did hook you, but maybe they didn't. Maybe they just saw it out. And you're like, calling lines is hard. You're trying to hit the ball, look at the line, and that's not easy, especially as the ball's coming at a faster speed or you have a tougher angle or a bad look at it.
Sun's in your eye.
Sure.
So let's get serious about it, though. What can we do to make ourselves kind of stay in the moment longer?
I think it's the routine, having the right routine between points, understanding you may have to let out some of your aggression. You may have to go, you may have to turn and, sort of tap your foot with your racket, go, come on, let's go. And you always want to have positive words to yourself. I mean, the game's hard enough. And if you're harsh on yourself, you're only making it harder. Right. You're helping your opponent.
Exactly.
Like, you have to find a positive. If we had a 10-ball rally and my goal before the opponent was to hit 4, that's a win. You may have beat me, but I achieved my goal.
Right.
And my goal was 4 and we hit 10. Okay, you beat me. Great, let's try again.
Right.
And if I can hit 4 again and you hit 3, I win that one.
Right.
Right? It's have simple goals that can obtain the overall. I have to win. What are you doing to try to win?
Exactly.
Like, hey, I'm going to try to hit more serves to the backhand today. Great. I'm going to try to attack the net, on short balls today. I'm not going to run back after it because I'm afraid of the net. I'm going to try to hit 5 in a row instead of 4.
Right.
Keep your goals simple. I'm going to make you hit 3 backhands. If I get 1 point where you hit 3 backhands and you beat me, okay, great. So, have those little goals that then can add up to the whole.
Right.
Instead of just going, I have to win.
Right.
Like the other guy, you don't think he's trying? Like he's trying to as well.
Exactly. Build your goals. Maybe have a game plan. Stick to the game plan. If it doesn't go well,
change, the second set, switch it up.
Exactly.
Don't lose the same way twice. If you stayed back and the guy always can out-rally you, come to the net.
Right.
And if he passes you and lobs you, okay, great. But you didn't lose the same way twice.
Right. And there's no point in getting emotional about it.
You're having fun.
Exactly. Guys, love yourself, respect the game, and don't take it so seriously. Because if it stays with you, you're down 2 sets and you've lost. All right? Coach Rob, thank you so much.
Sure.
For showing us the way.
We'll see.
Guys, thank you for watching Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. Dan the man, thank you so much for playing, my man.
Thank you. Thanks
All
for
right.
having me.
Same time next week?
You got it.
All right. If you are looking for that perfect tennis partner who'll play with you whenever you want, I play with Dan once a week. Player Court is the place. Over 27,000 registered players wanting to play with you. It's all at playyourcourt.com/tennis spin. Link is below. Find your partner there.